Okay. Hey guys, how's it going? It's me, Yoko from Japan. Welcome back to my channel. I'm live from Fukuoka Prefecture, Japan. How are you guys doing? It's a little windy. I guess it's exaggerated, but this room gets wind, so the background keeps a little bit moving a little bit, but please don't mind it. So great to be back because this week I suffered from a lot of pain. Part of being a woman and also part of being having a disease in the stomach. And every day I was suffering. But today I'm back and I feel so good about it. Because it's getting really hot, rapidly, abruptly. And it's really hot today, and that's why I'm wearing very lightly. Anyway, hello, ahoy, beautiful people. Keeper, hello, thank you so much for coming. What do you think about foreigners buying houses in Japan? I believe there's a good and a very bad. Yeah, it's weird that it can happen because in order to purchase land or a house, I think the procedure is complicated. I don't know what's going on. But yeah, my understanding is that we shouldn't give our land. Like, it's not about a house, or houses. It's not about them. It's about the land, I think. So yeah, I feel like we have a good legal system, though. It's still bad. Some people are encouraging to buy houses in Japan, right? Like on YouTube and so on. I haven't really looked into it, so I don't know much, but yeah. Especially American foreigners reminds me that it could be a very expensive to live, just like in San Francisco or any other California county, expensive to live in Japan. Yeah, it's not, it's really not easy right now. At least for right now, it is expensive to live here, and our living standards, and work environment is really tough compared to other countries. So yeah, I just don't recommend living here in general because you will get stressed out very, very much. Yeah. Oh yeah. Like if you know what it's like here, then you wouldn't have a shock. But what do you think of my pics from Discord? Or I haven't checked it. Should I check it now? Where's Discord? Oh, this one. Let me check. Where? How do I see this thing? Don't allow. What is that? Oh, this one. Oh, hello. I see you. I see your face. Oh, nice. You sent me a bunch of pictures. Oh, is this a wig with a red wig? It's so cool. That's really nice. Aww, cute pictures. Thank you for sending me. That's nice. Okay. Let's get back. Hello, everyone. Hello. Thank you so much for coming. What's the hi in the middle? And run on both ends. Ohio! Ohio! Thank you so much for coming. Good to see you. Oh, super chat. Is that a super chat? Oh, thank you so much. Always Raiden. Thank you. I appreciate it very, very much. It's always, it boosts my mood. Thank you. Hello. こんにちは。Hey, Yoko. Hello. Red wig with purple contact. Cool. I wish I had that. I'm always the same hair. I was dyeing it to kind of like reddish brown for a while, but I grew out of it. So I'm back to normal. But anyway, guys, did you guys see? Oh man, they changed the title. I put it, yeah, because when I was setting this live stream, somehow Facebook was not allowing it to happen, and I originally titled it to Trump's rally in the South Bronx, right? And maybe I thought like maybe that title is not accepted on Facebook, and I changed it to weekly update, and then it didn't go through anyway. So I'm like, why did I change it for then? But yeah, did you guys see the news about Trump's rally in the South Bronx? It's so awesome. I have to be brutally honest at first though, because when I saw the news at first, I saw the number of the participants, and also I just saw the video footage of the crowd, and it was not as big as like you get excited about usually. So that was my impression at first. But then I learned that it's of a blue county, so I'm like, whoa. So then that changes the premise, right? So I'm like, wow. And then New York Post, I believe they reported that the participants number was about 8,000 to 10,000 or so, right? That's a lot of people considering that it's a blue place. So yeah, and I also saw some of the interviews done at the event, and there were some citizens of the place answering to like I saw Fox News, and they were talking about how they have already seen it, how Trump does his job, like he already served the first term, and they know that he can do things. And also that what was interesting was that it was about economy. And it's ironic because Biden was able to win against Trump. Like you don't regard that as a win, but let's say like like we live under the circumstance that Biden won against Trump. So let's go with that. But that happened because there was COVID-19. In my opinion, COVID-19 hit the world. There was a pandemic, and then as soon as it got to the States, the economy in the States began to sink down, just like other countries. But people in the US didn't see that. And they wanted, like, Trump is a big daddy to everybody. So especially American leftists, they started to bash Trump for it. And then that kind of pushed the victory of Biden, I think. So, but this time it's it's the other way around. Biden's economy and the inflation, it's not working well for him, and now people are complaining about economy. And then we know that how Trump can fix finance, and also like he has a business mind, so people know how Trump is a fixer. So I think it's working well for Trump. I want to know how to join your Discord. I don't really have anything. I just have an account and people are adding me there for some reason. Maybe I should make it a paid service. Maybe I should have a membership service. I have that here on YouTube and I haven't said it. But I don't know. Just to get in touch with me, join my membership. Would that work? I don't know. I'm late. I got distracted. Oh, was there anything better than me? Just kidding. Hello, Yako and Hide. Thank you so much for coming. What did you guys think of the rally? My husband just yawned, if you heard him. It's a heart of blue darkness, but they said there were a lot of out-of-state license plates. Ah, I see. That's a very objective analysis. That's an important thing to, because it's important for Trump as well. Like, you have to work hard, maybe his campaign staff worked in a different way, who knows. But but what was interesting was that the crowd was diverse according to their report. And what was good to see was that Trump speaks like everybody's friend. That's what I really love about him, and that's what is like that is very like makes him a leader, because not everybody, like, I don't want to sound mean to people, or I don't want to have a condescending tone, but like, not everybody is educated well, right? It's not like we hope that it's equal to everybody, but that's not the case. But the way that Trump speaks, his vocabulary and also his attitude in general, it's very heartwarming, and he's very, I don't know how to say that in English, but very heartful and very welcoming. And when I see him speak to diverse audience, I can sense his love, and it's very unfortunate that leftists have already decided their mind and they can't see that because their mind is stopping themselves from watching that. So it's very, very sad. But I just realized, like, oh, that's what America needs, like a leader like him that can listen to people and that can fix problems. And I'm not sure about, like, if I'm there's someone pointing out that about the license plates. So we should be concerned about that. But in general, Ohio, your look looks elegant as always. Oh, thank you. I try. I use Discord. I don't use Facebook. How can I follow you on Discord? My account is Random Yoko. I'm Random Yoko on every service, I think. Yeah. You should make a Discord server. I have a Japanese one. It's weird because I have a paid service, and like, this guy told me to, connect it to Discord. So that's what I did, but it's not common among the Japanese people, really, especially the elderly people. And also the one that I connected, I don't know if it's the entire servers that I made or it's only one. Like, it's so confusing. Anyway, we are adding you on because we like Yoko Silly. Thank you. I was reading a lot of thread on Discord, actually. Oh, cool. Cool. What are your highest or best thoughts about Chizuko Ueno? 誰だっけ? Who is that again? Ueno Chizuko って誰だっけ? あれ? My husband is asleep. Is she a leftist? Sociologist, 75 years old, or feminist. Yeah, I've heard of her. And I'm pretty sure that she's very famous because I know her name, but I don't know. She doesn't stand out, at least right now. Yeah, Japanese society changed after Abe administration. And for Abe, he came back in 2012. Yeah, at the end of 2012. But that was actually his second time to be the prime minister of our country. The first time was somewhere around 2005 or so, I think. And the first term, he pushed his, like, very conservative ideology, let's get out of the post-war regime, after the World War II, like our education and media and so on, like what Trump is saying now, basically about deep state. In Japan, we have so-called post-war regime. So it's a system, like social system that the winner of the war railed us. Like they built our country system, like changed things around. So we wanted to make things back to normal, and Abe pushed that, and it didn't work out well because the left bashed him so much, and the public believed that, like, the public, here in Japan thought that Abe was kind of dangerous, right-wing-ish and so on, like whatever the media labeled him as, people believed it. But when he came back in 2012, after the Democratic Party regime, then he didn't push the ideology, and instead he pushed economy, and it worked well. And together with that, like through that, I think that our country system began to change for the better, and so people that are interested about economy began to support him, and then through that, our country began to be open-minded, and the conservative values, especially online, conservative people became stronger. And our internet, like online space in Japan, is dominated by the conservatives. So the younger generation, especially, they go on internet, and when they try to learn about things, there are lots of conservative leaning outlets and everything. So then, like, the whole society, the atmosphere here changed. So then what happened was, people like her, feminists and so on, they still have a good system that they have established among them. So like social status and so on, the publishment, like books and articles and so on, they help each other because it's a whole big system, professors, media, and publisher and everything, like they are working together, like they are friends with each other, so they can keep their work as they used to, but still, like, today people's attention and like what the people's values have changed, I think, for the more somewhat on the conservative side. But at the same time, though, this LGBT push is confusing some people. And also we have a topic about what you call have separate surnames. Like, when we are married, some women want to keep their name, and you can do that, just not legally, but you can just keep using your family name that you grew up with even after you get married in society. But some feminists are saying, like, oh, we want to do it legally as well for some reason, and they are trying to destroy our family values, that eventually could lead to our tenno, like family, meaning emperor family tradition as well, which is a definition of our country. But even for that, like people online, like LGBT people online, are talking, like they are criticizing all this agitation by the left, saying that that's not the voice of us. That's not gonna help us, rather it would push us into a difficult place and so forth. And there are some LGBT figures online that are very strong and that have common sense, and they're fighting back. So again, the leftists, they are, even some leftists, I think they are learning, like they are growing up. I feel that in America, at least, you have different types of leftists, right? So that you have like people like Biden, for example, like when it comes to politicians, you have Biden or Bernie Sanders or AOC, like, very moderate left to the very extreme leftists, right? Over here in Japan, it's the same too. And back in the day, it was all like extreme leftists, but today, some are learning to live like they are coming to the moderate side, and which is enabling us to work together, like for us conservatives. So that's good. Like back in the day, it was all about leftists here would they would be all in for North Korea, China, and even South Korea at times, and basically just talking negatively about Japan, bashing us, and blah blah blah. But today, some, just like let's see, like Nancy Pelosi, for example. I know that you guys don't like her, but at least she was strongly against, like, even Hillary, right? Hillary is in the gray zone, I think. But Nancy Pelosi, for example, like she was strongly against the violation of human rights. So meaning that she was supporting Tibetans and Uyghurs and so on that are oppressed by CCP. And that's why, like, we Asians really appreciated her work. But we Japanese didn't have that sort of people, that sort of leftists here in Japan. But today, after all these problems, like China is, because of the lack, in Japan, like because we didn't have the good kind of leftists. Like you guys probably don't like leftists in general, so I shouldn't say good, but like people with common sense, like that didn't exist. So China came expanding more and more, and we couldn't serve in that problem. Like we couldn't, do anything for them. So that was really bad of us. But today, at least, like China is growing more. They are oppressing in Tibet, Uyghurs, Southern Mongolia, Hong Kong, and now coming to Taiwan. And at least leftists here are like, they began to see the problem, finally understanding a little bit. So like, I feel like we are going a little bit beyond the category of like right and left and so on. But yeah, oh, that was a long speech. Anyway, wake up, Hide. Wake up, Hide. He said, I'm sleeping. Who speaks in sleep? He actually does. Sometimes my husband, like, like I'm in bed, I can't fall asleep, and I'm listening to something on my phone, right? And then I hear some noise from like right next to me. And I'm like, what? What's going on? And then I get up and look at my husband, and he's like fighting in his dream. Once he was asleep and he almost hit me because he was fighting in his dream. That was the funniest thing ever. That he just woke up, like he was asleep, but then he was moving around, and then all of a sudden kind of flipped around, and then he hit his bed like, and then I was right next to him. Like, what if I would get hit? That was so scary and funny at the same time. But anyway, that happens sometimes. Like he's always chased around in his dreams. Somebody has to analyze his dreams. Anyway, I have become a big fan of Akari Iyama. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I hope you survive. Sorry. She's when it comes to analysis about Middle East, she is very good. Her expertise is there, and I do recommend her. But when it comes to other things and other works or commentaries that she does, I really recommend not to listen to her. It's the the right-wing party that is calling themselves as the Japanese Conservative Party. They are problematic, so it's dividing the conservatives, and it's really bad because they are, I don't know, just bad adults. Bad adults. The feminists in Japan are just as unattractive as the feminists in the West. Yeah. Hey, what's up with feminists that dye their hair in a different color? Like brown, I understand. But feminists often like there's like LGBT pushing people too. Like this, I don't know why it is. It's their characteristic to dye their hair in a weird color like green and so on, or blue, or you know what I mean. And Chizuko, I think her, maybe because she's older, but her hair she seems to be like red or purple or something like that. It's weird. Marxism fights against beauty, logic, and God. What's interesting though is that Marxists back in the day, like at least until like 60s to 70s in my country, they were very, very intellectual. They were smart, but today it's like I can't even look at them because they don't know what they're talking about. Like they're not thinking logically anymore. It's such a like what's the word to deteriorate? I forget. What's the word? It's bothering me. Deteriorate or something like that. Deterioration. Deteriorate. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yes, so it's happening on the right side as well, like Japanese Japanese Conservative Party and others. Like I guess I was one of them before because I was not very well educated. Like I was, but like in a social standards, I'm very well educated. I speak English. I went to 4-year university and graduated and blah blah blah. But like when it comes to like intellects, I was not as sophisticated as them before. And online people, like the left side would be social justice warriors, and on the right side we have warriors as well. But it's the level is very low compared to the past. But anyway, hello everyone. Hello, thank you so much for coming. You're come dying from lack of sleep. Oh no. Oh no. I must go, but please remember me. I will remember you. Please don't die. Live for me. Yeah, people supporting China and North Korea. Yeah. It's very minority now, I think. But yeah, because for example, back in the day, when was that? Before like 2004 or 5, up until that time, so with North Korea we have an abduction issue. So North Korea has abducted like hundreds of Japanese citizens, and they are still keeping them there. Allegedly it's about over 800 people, but officially, what our government has acknowledged, it's only a dozen and more. But still, 5 of them came back in 2005 or so. But until then, the leftists in Japan wouldn't admit it, that they were siding with North Korea. North Korea is a beautiful country, and that there's no abduction issue and blah blah blah. So they would say stuff like that. And when it comes to China, oh, Chinese nuclear power plants are beautiful, or nuclear power, whatever. They have nuclear weapons too, but it's beautiful. But in Japan, our weapons are evil, Like, I'm not kidding. Like, they are seriously, that was their logic. So, yeah. But today, the amount, I think, of that, like the number of that sort of people is shrinking, I think, because they are getting older and older. So those that were active, the leftists that were active during 60s to 70s or so, occupying our university, just like your people were doing in your university. Our people back in the day were very aggressive, and they fought with the police too. So many people died, not many, maybe. I don't know. I don't know the exact number, but people have died too in that sort of fights. But yeah, it's real. That was really nasty. But so the leftists from those period have now become like what, 70 or so, I think. So then, at least politically, they can't work anymore. So Shinzo Abe was born to be a conservative since his father hated the communists. Yeah. Explain why the Japanese Conservative Party is full of bad actors. Are they true conservatives or not? In their mind, they are, but they don't know what politics is. They don't care about... It's hard to explain. Because in politics, you have to basically like free speech and commentators and politicians are different, right? Like, do you get the do you understand the difference? Like commentators and journalists and that sort of people and politicians, they work very, very differently, but they don't get it. And also their view can be very extreme, and also oftentimes it doesn't have any basis. So for example, they don't like Kishida. That's just a preference. And we, like true conservatives, we look at what Prime Minister Kishida is doing, and we value each one, right? Like, oh, this is good, this is bad. Oh, this is like, oh, he tried this, but he couldn't do things because of this and that. And we have to analyze. And also in politics, it has a lot to do with what, like, the owning to other people and so on. Like, it happens in business as well. But when, for example, LDP tries to pass something in the Diet, they have to negotiate with the opposition parties, right? And depending on their past or other cases that they have, or their friendships, sometimes they have to swallow which they don't want to, because they own them or something. Like, there are things like that. And so politics isn't easy, and we have to analyze fairly. But because we have to all be realistic, right? Like it's important to have hopes and dreams, but we also have to be realistic, right? Because we need to make sure that the policies that we want get approved, and that's the ultimate thing that we want, right? Like, to push policies and get it approved. But that sort of like conservative party type of people, they're not interested in that. They just want to say whatever they want to say because they're so emotional, and they don't talk about politics, in my opinion. That's the impression that I have. And as for Kishida, like, he's doing such a great job. He could surpass Abe in a way. Abe, of course, he created the foundation of the society that we live in now. So Kishida is only, picking all what has grown, maybe. But still, he's doing a lot of things, like getting this. I know that our country is in a bad place. We don't have time because China is expanding, and they are like, in any minute, Taiwan could get attacked. Like they are having drills, military drills, but we don't know if they are only drills. Like they could attack in any minute, and so on. We don't have time, and Kishida has been changing our system for the better, like in order for them to actually work to integrate, especially militarily, with other countries. And also like we have a lot of different departments, but we are integrating everything. So he, and also in emergency we need blood. We need to make sure that people can get around, easily to evacuate. And also in emergency also, our self-defense forces have to be able to use our airports and ports and so on. But we didn't have that system. But that our administration today, they they have established that system. So he is preparing more and more and more. And on the other hand, the right people on the right side, they just bash him because he's not Abe. It's just the dumbest thing ever. So, and because their voice is so loud, like those type of people right now that are bashing Kishida, Conservative Party and people around them, they made money when Abe was in power. And now that he's gone, their jobs are deprived. But it was because they were dependent on Abe, right? And then there are some people that have shifted their job naturally because they knew how to work, and then they didn't. So they are now only bashing. So that's what's happening. What did you study in college, university? What do you think? Huh? It's apparent. You should be a parent. It's English. I learned English in university. I went to a foreign language studying university. They dye their hair those colors to hide their gray. Yeah, the elderly people, yeah. It's interesting that elderly people tend to dye their hair purple, Like there are many other options, but somehow they like purple. But I like purple, so I will probably do that too. And then I would get misjudged as a feminist, maybe. I hate to say it, but the Marxists in Japan are way smarter than American Marxists. Do you think so? I mean, the Japanese Communist Party people, they are, when it comes to like their intellectual level, they're very smart. Yeah. It's like they know how to study. I mean, if you don't study, like you study and become a Marxist, basically. So yeah, don't study. Don't study in school. In fairness, I don't like Kishida as well, but who is better alternative? I guess Takaichi is good. Right now, so what the Japanese Conservative Party is saying is that LDP is no longer trustworthy and so on. And that's just BS. Because I've been saying that for years. And in the meantime, I was actually fighting, in order to what's the word? Like grow, like nurture a party that is truly conservative, which had a lot of National Diet members at that time, back in 2014 to 2016 or 17 or so. We had a party at that time, a conservative party, aside from LDP. And we were all like true conservative people, that were even active. Like some of them were active online too. We were supporting that party. In the meantime, the same people that are in the Japanese Conservative Party right now and the supporter right now, the same type of people were bashing us. We were saying, oh, LDP, there's the limits of what LDP can do. And if we have a party on the right side, more on the right than LDP, then we can accuse LDP for not doing things well from the right side. Then Abe could be able to do things better, because in comparison, Abe wouldn't look as right-wing as the media says, you know what I mean? Because we seem like super right-wing, and in comparison, Abe would look like that. But at that time, the Japanese Conservative Party type of people, they were bashing us, saying that we are threatening Abe administration. And they would find anything to attack us too, because especially our party later, like we transformed in different parties, along the chronological way. But there was a time that our leader was Yuriko Koike, the governor of Tokyo right now. And then those people were bashing us because they didn't like her. I'm like, it doesn't work that way in politics. She's the head, so that we can get votes. Then we can actually have a functioning party, that is the biggest, that could be the biggest opposition party. And when we are the opposition party, the biggest one, then more stronger than the leftist party right now, then LDP and our party could have a good debate in the Diet to push our policies and get it approved. But they were in the way. And now they are saying the same thing that we were saying before, which they were, bashing before. And it just doesn't make sense. You know what I mean? So that's why, there's this power struggle inside of the Japanese conservative community right now. It's really, really ugly. And that's why I don't have things to do with them. It's just not only today. What matters is what they were saying before, and today what they are saying now, because there are lots of contradictions, and they were just doing business, and we can tell. So we need an air horn to moving behind you. Is he alive? Yeah, I do hear him a little bit. Yes. But yeah, it's the wind. The background is moving. You sound well rested on and energetic today. Oh, good. I trust you are feeling better. Yeah, today I am. Earlier though, I was feeling dead too, but I had to push myself. What worked, I think, I could tell that I'm getting the nutrition, and what was still not enough was my blood pressure. I have low blood pressure. And so I'm like, how do I circulate my blood, right? But I'm feeling defeated, right? And I'm like, oh, squats. And I'm like, I didn't feel like it, but I just, I was doing that. And little by little, I felt better. It's seriously it's getting humid too. So it's the blood vessels and things, it changes you, the moisture in your body too, the balance gets off too. Are you surprised my looks and how young I look? Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Yes. For the longest time, there was a belief here in the West that when people married in Japan, they took the wife's name, huh? When people married in Japan, they took wife's name. And eventually, that died out when people talking Japanese people online. Oh, I see. It was a misconception. I see. That happens. Man, there are a lot of people online, especially like foreigners that just lie about Japan. And same for English too. Like sometimes we will see some English books and it would tell you the wrong grammar or wrong customs and so on. Like, yeah, the things that would depend on a case, like things are different case by case, but sometimes it would generalize the English speaking customs and so on. And yeah, it's really it's really great that we have the internet now, that we can directly speak. Oh, cute heart. A society can't survive when the government encourages dependence on them, discourages faith, hard work, ambition, independence, and the ability to take care of yourself. I agree. Where's that party today? Which party? Hello from Yamaguchi. Oh, hi. Trump had a wonderful rally in the Bronx. Yeah, I saw that. It's really the world, like I feel like I've been in a weird place, mentally. Like the time is going really, really fast. It's so weird. Like my husband and I, like maybe it's the way that we live now, but I feel like the time is going faster than before for some reason. Like that's part of aging, I understand, but it's just weird, But and also at the same time, though, it's a contradiction. But I feel like the world is dragging and dragging and dragging. I feel like we don't have that momentum. I feel like at least that's how I feel in Japan. Probably not in other countries, especially if the economy is good. But yeah, that's how I felt. But after watching the rally in the Bronx, South Bronx, I feel so much better. And probably I got the I'm energetic today because I probably felt the hope, from that rally, like Trump speaking to the audience and speaking to them like they are his friends, and it's really lights up your soul. It makes you feel better. Yeah. What are the consequences of this scheme? Is it scheme? Bunretsu? No. How do you say that? I can't pronounce that. But I understand. Okay. What are the consequences? Not much right now, at least. It's just that I would say that we can't talk about the things that we are supposed to be talk about because everybody is talking about who hates who and so on, and who said what and that sort of things, and just infighting in general. So we are right now, conservative side, in my opinion, we are expected to have discussions on the successors of our Tenno, our emperor, and also our revision of our constitution and abduction issue by North Korea. There are lots of important issues that we need to talk about right now because it has a lot to do with the time limit that we have. But people are talking about each other, inside a community, like they are infighting. So I guess that it doesn't really matter though, like if I may see extremely, because politicians don't really care about the public anyway. They just have to do their job. And sometimes the public, like public opinion can support them, or maybe work in the other way, but usually it's the politician's job, right? National Diet members' job to make policies. So Sam, the background moves. I think it's like the curtains closing out of play. Yeah. I know that. Low blood pressure is better than high. Yeah, but it's really tough. It's painful in a way, because you want to get up and do things, but you can't. Yeah, like you feel good, like mentally, but your body just can't keep up, and it's really, it's weird. It's weird. It gives you a weird feeling. Yes, exactly. That's why, like, largest muscles first, and then smaller ones later, right? By the way, I've been speaking for 15 minutes and I only got one super chat. So I appreciate it if you could send me super chat. By the way, I want to go get my hair cut. It's too long. It's so long. It's heavy. Like, look at how long this is. Up to here. It's so heavy. I have a lot of hair. No offense to bald people, but it's just so heavy and it's wavy. So I have to get it straightened, or else it kind of hurts my head. So that's what's been happening lately. And I really want to go, but man, the expenses here are expensive, and it's so hard to pay things. At least for my clinic, like hospital fee, we have an insurance system, like which Obama wanted to do, but we have that system. And my case is severe, so like I'm supported by the government, so that's good. Yuko, how do you politely ask somebody for their social media or number when you are in Japan, when you want to make friends with them? I guess we casually just ask, like, what's your line, or like line, our application that we use. What's your Instagram? or do you have an account or something? Yeah, I guess the best way is to not like put other information to it, like then it would sound heavy. So just casually ask, like, oh, do you have are you on Instagram or what? X or whatever. I've heard in Japan they eat rice. Yes. Everything is rice. Rice and also soybeans too are main things, I think. Because when I look at my diet, I eat rice, and the alcohol I like is based on rice. Other alcohol I can't really drink, but like rice, like Japanese sake is the only kind that I can actually drink. And miso, right? And tofu is also soybeans. Those are soybean stuff. And so, yeah, stuff like that. Here, the animals in nature will use bright colors to warn others to stay away. They are poisonous. Same with. That is funny. Like alert, alert, alert. I think you're right though. I think that it has a lot to do with that. Yeah. We are animals after all. It's related to this, but so I play games, right? Like I play COD Mobile for the most part. And that community is like consists of young people, like teenagers and those who are in the 20s. I'm almost 40, so they're very young, right? And young girls, especially among the nerds, young girls get attention and they get liked. Like they, boys will come after girls with high pitched voice. But to me, like you can hear my voice like it's very low, right? And because I have this low voice, and also I don't actually like females high pitched tone because it sounds like monkeys that are fighting, like like alert, alert, alert. So that's why I'm like, why do they sound like that? But that's our culture, though. Like women here are expected to sound young and I don't know, like fresh, and that sort of things. I guess it makes sense. Like when you think about biology, like being young means being able to, make us offsprings. So I get that, but it's just loud, right? So it's very interesting when you think about stuff like that. I'm your most left-wing viewer, and I know Trump will win. Ooh, cool. Yeah, it's not about like right now. Like I, of course, like as a person, I support Trump, and as a politician, I I can't really analyze him right now because he's he didn't want to accept the election results, which puts him in a interesting place, and also he is only saying though, like we can't tell if that's true too, but like he's attempting to surround himself in the loyal people that are like those who that are loyal to him. And so that by that, like we can't really calculate, right? Like we can't see things like what we can't see ahead of what he is trying to do. So it's very difficult to think, but at least like so like I don't know how to value this situation, but Trump is very strong in the campaign, I think, too, because another thing is that Trump is supported too, but at the same time, I think this is a result of Biden administration. Biden is just weak and he's too old, and old doesn't necessarily mean bad, but anyone can see his recognitions failing, and that's a dangerous thing. And also like by picking Biden, people would pick Kamala Harris. And what do we know about Kamala Harris aside from the obnoxious laughing? She's a good character, though. She has a good character in a way, very unique. But yeah. Oh, that's a song by too. Huh. I just got pushed from behind. What? Are you pushing me? Weird. My husband is doing something to me. Oh, he's fixing the background, I think. How much are Japanese people working? We can usually take off a few months or a year. Oh, or work remotely from Thailand. Japan seems very difficult to. my jaw just dropped because I'm like, what? You can take off a few months a year? That's crazy. I mean, in total or at once? I mean, like Abe administration wanted to change our living standards. Like he wanted to make it the same as Western nations, like developed countries, where people take days off. And Japan, our society consists of overwork. People work all the time. Even on day offs, they have to answer their phones and so on. But Abe tried to change that work environment, and we are still in the shifting phase, so we are having a hard time. But anyway, because of that, now those that have a really good job, like banker or officials and that sort of things, they must take days off. And so in total, I think that they are getting a good amount of rest or days off, but we don't get to have like a long period of days off. Yeah. Oh, it's been an hour. I think my husband is somewhere around here. Oh, yeah, he's here. He's here. I just heard a voice from somewhere like around that space. I'm like, oh, it was so weird. Oh, super chat. Thank you so much. What do we know about Kamala Harris? Well, she did slip her way to the top of California politics, which is something everyone knows but don't speak. Oh, really? Oh, because of her appearances, right? I mean, appearance, right? She comes in handy for the Democrats or the left side, because I don't know what blood she has, but is she brown? Is that? And then she's a female, and yeah, that's all you need. It's really not fair for white people now. I feel bad for white people today. Yeah, it's so strange when you think about her being the top of other women that are in the States. It doesn't matter if you're on the right side or left side. Like, I know that American people work hard as well, like in a different way from us, but very like professional. And especially when it comes to like debates and so on, Americans are so great, right? But Kamala Harris, like when you look at her, like all you hear from her is this weird laughter and, and other you don't get other information. And she knows how to read off a script, but I don't know. Like I have no idea about what kind of person she is too. And another thing I know is what I talked about many times before, but she's not appreciated by the Democrats that are supporting Elizabeth Warren. And so, yeah. Thank you for your super chat. That made my day. She's from your neighborhood? Ooh. Half black, half Indian. Oh, I see. That makes sense. Man, Indian blood. Oh, by the way, Indian population, I think, just surpassed China. Man, such a key player today. India. I like India. But they still have the social system, like a pyramid system. So I hope that, I don't know, they should Maybe if I were Indian, I would stick to that tradition. I have no idea, but I hope that the country will grow as it should, because Indian people are very smart. Top people, very, very smart. It actually threatens us, though. Because I think that what's good about India is somewhat similar to what we are good at in Japan. So they are a good competitor. I think they just helped us on the moon, by the way. That they came near our stuff that we launched. Maybe they just gave us a light or something, but because of whatever they did, India did, we were able to understand what was going on with our stuff. But anyway. As Attorney General in California, she engaged in a lot of political prosecutions and many drug dealers in jail. Oh, her political prosecutions. Wow. Kamala is a half Jamaican and her mom is from India. Oh, I see. So that's like political correctness in one pack. Right? Yes, she's got the black blood, Indian blood, female blood, yeah. And her political prosecutions were overturned on appeal, and several of her cases lost at the Supreme Court after she was a senator. That's interesting. India still has a lot of problems they need to sort out, yeah. Especially when it comes to the, violence against women. That's the impression that I have. But if the economy entirely gets better, I think that things will get better, though. Because that's the case for all countries, I feel. The economy gets better, then people can think more, like, better, because of the education and because of all the luxury that they have. They have a little bit of peace of mind to actually pay attention to things other than themselves and so on. So anyway, my husband is yawning and I need to go because you guys are probably yawning too. But thank you so much for coming to this stream. I gotta go. Hopefully I will be able to do it earlier next time. Oh, I wanted to talk about this too, but next time, I think. Newspaper too. I will make posts on Twitter, or I mean X, if anything comes up. Time to walk the hubby? Yes. He really goes in a weird mental state if we are stuck home all the time, all day long. He needs to get out. So it's a good influence on me because I'm in a bad state, right? Like a health state. So with him, I get a sunlight and so on. So thank you so much. Left and right dynamics are similar to those in the US, but in the US. Yes. Thank you guys. Have a good night. And sleep well. Okay. Thank you so much for sticking till the end. I really enjoyed talking to you guys. Stir crazy. Sayonara. Take care, Yoko. Thank you. Who's this cutie? Oh, I'm Yoko. Thank you. I was just about to go, but thank you for your compliment. Okay. Have a good day or good night. Okay. Bye. Bye.